Today, we're going to be talking about one of the most important parts of your whole bankruptcy case: how to join and participate in your Zoom 341 meeting of creditors. If you do not do this, you won't get a discharge of your debts. But it's not hard, so we're going to talk about it today. Now, most attorneys, including me, when we file the case and we receive the assignment of the 341 meeting of creditors, that's usually the next day after we file the case, we email it to our clients. So they have the date, the time, and the login information. But maybe you lost the email. Maybe you don't have an attorney. Or maybe you just like paper. So here's what you do. Every single person filing bankruptcy is going to get a letter that looks like this. It is going to say, official notice. It's going to have the address of your attorney. And down here where I've blacked it out, it's going to be your address. Your creditors are also going to get this envelope. So when you see an envelope and it says official business, the United States Bankruptcy Court, you're going to want to open it. Now that you've received and opened that envelope, this is what's going to be on the inside. This is going to be a piece of paper that says notice of Chapter 7 bankruptcy case with no proof of claim deadline. At the top where I've highlighted, this is going to be your name. Rebecca DeWinter is not actually a real person. She's from a book. I made that up. Now, also importantly, down here, we see the name of the debtor's attorney. In this case, that's me. Phone number and email address for the debtor's attorney. And then you'll also get to see who your bankruptcy trustee is. This is a private attorney assigned to the Department of Justice. Their name, address, phone number, and email address is on the front piece of paper. Next, this is the back side of the piece of paper. This is the really important stuff. We've highlighted it right here. The meeting of creditors, also called the 341, also called the court appearance. Here's the information. Right here under number 7, you'll see the date and time of your hearing. These are done in 30-minute scheduling blocks. Some trustees do them in 1-hour blocks. Most do them in 30. Now, over here on location, this is where you get the actual information for joining the Zoom meeting. If you were emailed this information and open it up on a computer, you can copy and paste this meeting code directly into Zoom. But if you're looking at it on paper, or if you're just typing it in from somewhere else, like an email or a text message, you'll want to make sure you get all these digits here, and you want to get the passcode. I also highlighted this in red. Really important to know, you do not call this phone number. People filing bankruptcy are not allowed to join the meeting of creditors by phone. This is only for creditors who want to call in and ask questions. So that's why it's in red. It also shows on this form various deadlines, when to object to exemptions, when to object to various things. That's on here. And then right here, it also tells whoever reads this, it doesn't look like there's going to be any property available to pay creditors. That may change later, but this is the form that's generated at the beginning of the case. Again, number 7, this is where you're going to get the information to join the meeting of creditors by Zoom. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to launch Zoom. Now, you're going to need to do this on your own device, but it'll look something like this. When you get into Zoom, it'll have some various things for you to do on your itinerary. But what you want to do is join a meeting. Here, you're going to see what is the meeting ID. It might have some information here if you've used Zoom before. But what we want to do is go back to our 341 notice and type in these numbers that came in on this meeting notice. Now, this is also really important. Down here, it's going to automatically say something like iPhone, Android, computer. You need to put in your legal name here. Now you're going to click Join. Now it's going to ask you for the meeting passcode. This meeting passcode for today, for pretend, it's going to be LH Law. But when you do this for real, it's going to be some numbers. When you press join for real, it's going to have a big white square that says you are now joining an official meeting of the meeting of creditors, and you cannot record these meetings. So this is why it's just pretend. This isn't a real one because we can't record those. Now, down here, you'll notice this is really important. I can't turn on the audio or the video because my device is not allowing in the settings for Zoom to use audio or video. So if you see one of these triangles, you need to go into your device settings and change that. For me, on a computer, it will look something like this. We're going to go to privacy and security. Now we're going to go to microphone and we're going to turn on Zoom. We also need to go and turn on our camera. This way, we are giving Zoom permission to use our camera and our microphone. So what the device is telling me is that this doesn't work automatically. I'm going to need to quit Zoom for this to work. So we're going to quit Zoom and reopen. Now we're back in. We're going to join in the same way. My name is still there. And we've now joined the meeting. And you'll notice that those little triangles are gone. But we're still muted and off. So what we need to do is click to select our correct input sources, both audio and video. And then we're going to click to unmute ourselves and we're going to click to turn on the video. And now you can see me and you can hear me. So now that you can see me, we've got a couple last reminders so that you can be successful at your meeting of creditors. Remember to turn on your volume. Remember to turn on your audio and your video when they call your case. Remember to look at your cell phone bars and make sure you've got enough service. Also, this sounds crazy, but don't try and do a Zoom call while you're driving. We see people do this all the time. Stop the car, pull over to the side of the road, and then have your court hearing. Make sure you're wearing a shirt. Make sure you're wearing some clothes. These things sound basic. Also, be in a quiet area. If you can get into your Zoom hearing, if you can turn on your audio and your video, if you can turn on the volume, you're going to be successful. These Zoom hearings are not designed to be hard. It's to verify your identity and to ask you some basic questions that we've covered on another video. All right. One last bit of advice. Before you do the hearing, call someone on Zoom. Call your mom. Call a friend. Have a conversation with them on Zoom so that you can make sure that you're able to turn on your audio and your video and have a 3-minute conversation. That's all I got for you today. You're going to do great.